Welcome to the channel. It's Jack, the muscle and mobility maker with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I'm going to be teaching you a progression so that you can nail your first handstand. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. And it doesn't get better than that. So take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and dive into this one. All right, like I said, today I'm gonna be giving you a series of exercises that you can use to scale safely your way to your very first handstand. And there's really not much else to say about it. This is going to be a fun skill to learn, and there's a few different steps that we want to make sure that we take along the way in order to build the proper stability in the movement in order to stack our core well and stabilize our shoulders well. And those will be big keys to note as I'm explaining the exercises, the stability of the shoulders, and how you're organizing the core in that position are going to overall optimize your handstand first of all, and ensure that you're able to get there a lot sooner by focusing on those key components. So really pay attention to those pieces as we talk through it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the exercises here. All right, the first exercise we're going to start with is a downward dog and plank transition. So we want to start on our hands and knees, and first of all get our wrist below our shoulder, screwing the hands into the floor with our fingertips facing forward. Our elbows want to rotate toward the ribs the whole time here. And I love this exercise because it allows us to practice not just our core brace and alignment, that organization and stability there, but it also allows us to practice that shoulder stability in a safe range of motion that's usually pretty comfortable for us to work without too much pressure, at least. So what we want to do is push back into the downward dog position, but focus on keeping the elbows as much as possible rotating in toward your own legs, toward your ribs. Okay, so the floor, I'm stretching the mat away from me, driving my chest toward my shins, and pushing my head in between my arms in a good alignment there, trying to take as much range of motion as my body will give me in that. Each time I come down, I want to solidify the plank, so it's tight butt, tight stomach, shoulder blades engaged on the upper back. Here we'd spend about 10 to 15 reps comfortably building up, and you can use this as a warm-up always if you want to get going as you progress here. Next, we're going to elevate the feet on a box or bench so that we can go ahead and start to get a little bit more inverted. This time we're going to be in more of a bear crawl position to start. We're going to press up into the inverted position so that our hips are sitting in line with the shoulders through the wrist there, and locking everything in, flexing the quads, keeping the abs tight, and focusing again on that rotation of the elbow toward the box. So you can see my elbow bending there as if I were able to fold to the forearm in that position, okay? So it should feel like you could almost just go down to your forearms. Whereas if the elbow flares out, this shows a lot of instability at the shoulder. So there's a lot of practice to be done there if you see your elbow trying to rotate out too much early on in the movement specifically. So we should feel that through the triceps up into the underarm. And that goes for the same with that downward dog that you were practicing as well. So same thing here, we want to build up some strength and repetition, working in a 10 to 15 rep range. And as you progress these, we want to make sure that you're getting more comfortable with those reps over time. And that's how we know you're going to be ready to progress to the next level of exercise from there. So take it as what can you do and move forward based off of that. Next, we're going to use the wall here. I'm using my pole to show you, but we're going to do a wall walk into the full handstand position. Now we're going to use this as a hold. So what you want to do is get your belly button to the wall, your chest to the wall, your nose to the wall, your hands to the corner of the room, and you want to press the floor away from you with those elbows still rotating in toward the ribs. Focus on the abs engaging and the glutes flexing. So you can see my butt flexing, my stomach stays tight, and a good straight alignment. Everything should feel it's straight through the arms, no curvature at the spine. Once you can hold those wall walks for about 30 to 60 seconds comfortably for 3 to 4 sets, then we can start to practice kicking up into the handstand. Here you want to actually put your head, shoulders back to the wall, fingertips to the corner of the room, We're gonna practice kicking up into the wall and being as light as possible when we reach the wall. So we wanna focus on getting vertical with engagement immediately at the top. So we wanna feel that same engagement we felt in the very first exercise of abs engaged, glutes engaged, shoulder blades in a good position, and we're just making a straight line as much as possible, not relying on the wall too heavily here. We could go reps of 10 to 15 once again. And now that we've built up some strength in the fully inverted position, we can start to work on a clean transition from the floor in the strength, being able to transition from holding your body weight up into the full press of a handstand. So here I'm balancing my knees on the inside of my thighs here and just practicing holding a good shoulder stable position, keeping my core engaged here and being ready to actually press up into the handstand position. So here we're starting assisted with the legs on the elbows, and this is to take some pressure off. What you want to do is some maximal holds here in this position, so just let yourself hang out there for a few seconds as long as you feel comfortable and able to in that wrist, forearm, in the shoulders, in the core, and then come back in, maxing out the tension and the time as much as possible as you add it up. And you can play with these holds whenever you feel you have time to, if you're watching TV, whatever. Now we're gonna progress it to without the legs being assisted. So here it requires a lot more core strength to actually hold that flexion of the spine and be able to pull my thighs up into my chest while still keeping that shoulder stability. So we're building up a good amount of core strength in that flexion as we're holding our body weight off the floor. Same concept, just building up the time. As you get comfortable with more time, then you can be ready to progress up into the full press, which will be our next step here, extending, going from that flexion of the spine into the extension of the full handstand and practicing that smooth stability and transition as you go. Okay, starting from that tucked hand balance position, you're gonna go ahead and come up into an extended position where we stack the hips over the shoulders, just like we did when our feet were on the box. But here, we're learning to control from that flexion to extension. Start with a few holds in this position, and then once you get to that, we can go ahead and extend through the legs, flexing the quads and glutes, and adding that last piece to your full inversion and your first handstand. Congratulations. All right, and there you have it, a simple scaled approach to help you safely build your way up to your very first handstand and nail it. If you like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below, and take a moment to share this one with a friend. Maybe they're working on their handstand, polishing it up, or even just getting to that first one. Send it their way, they'll thank you for it. That way y'all can have fun together working on those handstands. If you're somebody who wants to work on improving your mobility overall, if you have limitations that are holding you back from being able to perform at your highest level, then what I want you to do right now is drop down below in the description to fill out the coaching application and schedule your Mobility Blueprint call. The Mobility Blueprint call is my opportunity to assess your current movement limitations and mobility limitations and use that to tailor a mobility program specifically to your needs. If that sounds like something that would serve you well, help you perform at your highest level, then go ahead and take a moment, fill out that coaching application, and get a call scheduled right now so that we can start moving in the right direction. Last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. And it doesn't get better than that. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. See you next week.